So Rangers have pulled the plug on poor Barry. Well. Such a shame. I think it would have been interesting to see him flounder next year. See how long it took for the Rangers fans to absolutely get in his back. On to the what's next for Rangers and see who they can bring in. Got a bit of information on some Celtic potential movements. Let's see what we've got. Celtic, Okay, talk is, and we know this already, if you've got your ear to the ground with what's happening at Celtic, is Rio Hatate has been rumbling for a move. Nothing as big as Kyogo, no big pressure. What the noise coming out of Celtic is he's looking to get out, but he's not putting major pressure on yet. I think if we look at Hatate, and I'll come on and talk about Zico, who's come out recently and spoke about it. If we look at him where he is age wise and at his career, I think it makes sense for him to be the next person out the door for Celtic. Just depends on the offer and stuff. So he's been touted by a move by the Brazil legend Zico. People might remember him, people might not remember him, but from quite a while back. But he did manage in Japan, managed the Japanese national side, while he was actually playing for Udinese at the same time. He has come out and said that Hatate would be a good fit for Italy. So he's told the Sunday Post that I spoke recently about Hatate with Toro Oniki, his coach at Frontale, and that's Hatate's former club. He told me that he was a strong, fast player with a winning mentality who's already won a lot in his career. All indications are that he could do very well. Certainly, I would imagine in Italy, especially with a team like Udinese, where he would have time to settle in better. So, Hatate moving to Italy, does that feel like a good move for him? Actually, it does, for his style of play. I know the Italians well known for their defensive football. That's all kind of changed. I really like Rio, but I think when these guys get to 26, 27, 28, it's the last big move. Very similar to Maeda. I think he's one that we'll be saying goodbye to at the end of this season as well. 27-year-old. It's the last option to get to one of the top 5 leagues. And let's face it, Scotland are nowhere near that. Yeah, we can get into Champions League and we can get into Europe, but we're not ranked as a big league. However, Kyogo found out that the grass isn't always greener. But he's a name that's been mentioned quite a lot, and as I said at the start, the rumblings in Celtic are he's looking for a move. If he does go, he goes with my best wishes. Great player. He's done a lot of fantastic things for Celtic. Same with Maeda. Both of them have been fantastic. But Celtic just need to get their finger out. If these kind of things are happening, we need to be on the front foot and be bringing players in. Secondly then, Greg Taylor. Yet to put pen to paper, and I can't see it happening now. I can't. I think we've just got the cup final left. It would have happened already, surely. And I know Celtic recently put another offer on the table for him, increased the money, and he's still not signed. So I think his time is up. With Kieran Tierney coming back in the summer, I think that's probably the one thing that's stopping him from signing. Is he wants to be the main man. My personal opinion, anyway. I think Celtic have went out and offered him more money, so I'm not sure it's that. Brendan would love to keep Taylor. We know that he's sung his praises so many times, and he's gave him great praise a lot of the time, and sees that he fits our style of play perfectly. But following the actual league trophy day, at Celtic Park. Taylor went on to Twitter, was it Twitter? Or Instagram, sorry. And he's posted a picture with the league trophies, and it says lived it and loved it. Kinda telling me that his time is up and he knows his time is up. You also had Alistair Johnson responding to it with a tears emoji, a crying emoji. Kinda, for me, tells you everything. Internally, I think the boys know. I think they'll be talking about these things. They say they don't talk about them, but quite clearly they would. If you've got really close friends in Celtic and you're no intention of signing your contract, or you've got an offer from someone else, you're going to tell your mate. And I think Johnson and Taylor are quite friendly. So again, this guy has been very good for us, in my opinion. I know some people would disagree with that, and he's a divisive figure to some, especially in Europe, but I think he's done a hell of a lot for Celtic. I think he fits our style of play brilliantly. Yeah, sometimes he can be off the boil, but so can every single player at Celtic be off the boil, you know. He just gets harsh criticism all the time. But another one, if Celtic do not get him to sign, goes with my best wishes, and Celtic have better get their finger out and go and look for another left back, because we can't play with just Kieran. It's not possible. The injury situation is he won't make a full season of 55-60 games. Can't see it anyway, might be wrong. Next on the agenda, we have Jamie Vardy. Not one for me, to be honest. I know he's been a good player in the Premiership, but the guy's 38 years old. He's not the kind of player that we want, even if it's just for a season. I think we've got Gaza in one of the newspapers touting him for a move to Rangers, talking him down from Celtic. Kind of says a lot when you're hearing it from Gascoigne. Actually, I'll back Gascoigne up in this one. Hope the guy comes nowhere near Celtic, and if he goes to Rangers, then wouldn't really bother me. But again, he's one of the guys' names in the realms of Celtic right now. Jamie Vardy, for me, too old. Not one that I would want to bring in. Wee bit of news on a current Celtic player who's out on loan, Marco Telio. Remember him? Came from Australia, where at the time it was quite hyped. I know it was only a few £1 million, but it was hyped to be a pretty good player. One of these guys that went out and spend a couple of million on, and it's just not worked. Well, he's on loan at Melbourne City. He's just helped his team win 3-0 in the semi-final first leg, win over Western United. With a return leg next week, they are in cruise control for that. So he came back from an injury. I think he was injured with us for quite a bit and went over there and got injured, and he had a standout game there. Will he come back to Celtic and make it? I don't know. What he said after that game was, if I'm being completely honest, I think I'm in a better position now than what I was back then. I think he's referring to when he was at Celtic. Didn't work out at all. I've matured a lot in the last couple of years. I've had my first injury going over to Scotland. I'm pretty much ridden all these waves, and here I am now. So I think he's quite confident in where he is and quite happy where he is. I know that when we look at these YouTube videos and get these compilations, you're like, this guy's a player. Potentially could be. He's been away now for a wee bit. We are short on wingers. Hopefully he comes back and he does look the part, and Brendan gives him a wee chance if he's worthy of the chance, and he comes back and makes it. Can he come back? Don't know. Let's wait and see. Another name that is popping up in the papers just now is Daniel Cummins. He was spotted recently at a West Ham game. Surprise, surprise. This guy, again, one of the boys from the B team who scored 23 goals one season, and Celtic really didn't have anywhere near the first team. Didn't show him a pathway. So a Premiership club like West Ham have come in and either they're taking a gamble because the wages and stuff won't be anything to them, but I'm pretty sure I read that they were telling him that he's going to be in and around the first team, which would be pretty exciting for him. just a pity again for Celtic when we've got these players that we are bringing through from the ages of 9, 8 sometimes, maybe sometimes younger than that, right through to their 19, and they don't get a sniff in the first team and they end up leaving for, I think Celtic will get a cross-border fee of about £350,000. I think West Ham tried to get him for $500,000 halfway through the season there in Jan, and Celtic refused it. Probably should have taken it if the wee guy had no intention of signing. Anyway, another one slips through the net, and we'll see how that pans out for him. It's not went too well for Rocco Vata, but let's see how that goes. Finally then, with Barry heading out the door, news that Rangers have had their first knockback from a manager. Will Still, what a name that is, Will Still, who was the RC Lens manager this season, he's apparently knocked him back. Rangers, this is another Belgian actually, we know what happened to the last Belgian. I think he's had a look and thought that club is a disaster, I'm going nowhere near it. In all rights, looks like a young, promising, up-and-coming manager. But good news that he's knocked the Rangers back. It's one for 0. Nothing gained for Rangers. So let's see what they do. I think they're talking about Ancelotti, or Ancelotti's son, who's never managed before. And listening to Super Scoreboard, it's all about the quality and calibre of player that he's coached. Maybe he just needs a chance in management, but not sure. That takes us to the end of just the wee update. So some stuff that maybe you already know about, players that will be moving on, what we need to start looking at as players that we can bring in, because we're going to have somebody in for Jota. If we lose Maeda, we lose Hatate, we're going to have to go and spend some money to bring these players in, and we should get a good few pennies for these boys as well. Well, listen, thank you very much. Please, if you're watching this and you've not subscribed, please subscribe. We're trying to get as many subscribers as possible. Click the bell button and that'll let you know when we're going to drop a video for you to have a wee watch at. Okay, thank you.